Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today on Secondhand High. My name's Jenny and today is our first happy hour haul segment and I'm excited to review some of the items that I got on my first shop with me trip. So before we get started, let's talk cocktails. I have poured myself a drink. It was a scorcher here today in sunny San Diego, and as I was looking through my selection of ready-made cocktails, I decided that a vodka watermelon soda sounded nice and crisp and refreshing, so I poured myself a vodka watermelon soda made from a local distillery here in town. So I'm excited that today is a special occasion and I get to share it with you. So I pulled out one of my favorites. This is an Orchids of Hawaii vintage Tiki. She's a geisha and I just love this design. She has a green kimono and it looks like she's displaying some hats fashioned after her own, which I just love. And then on the back is some kanji writing, and she is marked on the bottom, Orchids of Hawaii, Japan, and the mold mark. But as I said, this is full of delicious, refreshing vodka watermelon soda, so I'll have to show you on the mate that I was so lucky to find that day at Goodwill. The gods of thrift were shining down, and I was so lucky to find this one as well. So I snatched both of those up and put them in my cart immediately. And he is so handsome with his kimono and his fan and staff as well. And he also has some kanji writing on the back. And then this one is marked Orchids of Hawaii, Japan, and the mold mark. And I just love these. There were no chips or cracks in both of them. They were like $3.99 each, so I just grabbed those up and added them to my collection, and I just love it. I think they could be incorporated in many design aesthetics. You could go Regency, you could go Zen, you could go, of course, Tiki retro. So I just love these. I think they're super versatile and they're beautiful. So I'm going to enjoy using them today with you guys. The first stop I made that day, I had to get a selfie stick. So I went out before the girls came over, and next to the store I got my selfie stick at was a Goodwill. So of course I couldn't go buy it without stopping in, and it was a small one, so I didn't find many items, but I did find a few things. I'm on a bit of a weight loss journey right now, as so many of us are, trying to take off that quarantine 19. And so I figured I would challenge myself while my weight was in flux to only secondhand shop the clothing that I would need in that time that I was downsizing. So I have been having a lot of fun doing that. I've always secondhand shopped for clothing, but never solely. I've always mixed them in with modern items, but it's been really cool to just like push myself to explore that avenue of shopping. And so I haven't bought much, but the things I have bought are really eclectic and fun. And so the first piece I got was this awesome butterfly shirt. It's sequined, it's fabulous. It's very inspired for me by the Golden Girls and that grandma chic aesthetic, which I do end up appreciating very much. So I got this butterfly Farfalla t-shirt, and it has these fantastic sequins and all these different colors, these different color butterflies, and it's black, which I love. As a full-time hairstylist, black is a color that I can't live without. I do have a tendency to be quite the slob behind the chair, so black comes in handy. And then I definitely love my color, so I'm not afraid of this bold statement piece. So I have this one, which I'm being so excited to wear this spring and summer. And then I also got this little number, which I thought was really fun. And this is a like ivory peasant top. And I really like this guy because it had these adorable little lace cap sleeves, has this gray, black, and ivory, almost like an ombre stripe at the top with a V-neck line. And it's just a nice tunic shape. Has this great woven design at the bottom with an unfinished hem. I thought this would look really cute with like a pair of cut-off jean shorts or some ripped skinny jeans with some wedges. I thought would be really cute. So I picked this little guy up, and I think both of those tops were $3.95. So I'm looking forward to getting some use out of those for at least a few months. And then I also found at that Goodwill just a really easy little crossover bag. It has a little llama on it, so I liked that design, and it also had a beautiful design on the back. And this is just a really casual crossover, and it's great for like your wallet, your phone, your mask. And I actually used this on our first shopping trip, which was awesome because I got to put everything in there and it kept my hands free for shopping and filming and cart pushing. So that, I believe, was like $4.99. So I got that one there as well. And then I also picked up this. I just found this in one of the extra little bins, and I thought this was so fun and groovy. It's a Satin vintage photo album, and it has this fun retro, really groovy satin cover. It's like in perfect shape. It says marked photo album with a black plastic label with gold writing. You open it up and the index page hasn't been used. This is made in Japan. I've actually been using it. It's cool. It's like these small little spaces. I think you could probably put those Polaroid, those small Polaroids in here would be fun to put photos of that. I'm using it for receipt storage for all my junk trips, which maybe I shouldn't keep track of how much I'm spending, but as a frugal gal, I am keeping track. So I'm just storing some of those receipts from my junk trips in this photo album. So you can use it for a lot of things for organization wise, but I picked that one up for $2.99 also. So I think the total for that trip at the Goodwill was about $15.98 or $15.95, and I always round up the extra little change to make it a nice even number at Goodwill. So I think the total for that trip was $16, and I got a couple tops, a little purse, and a photo album. So I thought that was a success. And then I went home with my selfie stick and waited for the girls to come over. So then the girls came over, and that's my chosen family, Madeira and Morgan, and they came over to help me shop and film, and we had a great time. But before we got started, we wanted to head out to get some fuel for this shop and filming trip. So we headed to Vallarta, a local taco shop here, and we had some fish tacos and shrimp enchiladas. They were delicious. Some patio dining at its best, and then we headed out to El Cajon, California. And in El Cajon, our first stop was Mcallister Thrift. And Mcallister Thrift benefits people who are struggling with dependency and addiction, so always a good thing to support in this time of escalating addiction. So we headed out there, and that place has some great finds. I hadn't been there in quite some time, and I was really excited to go out there, and we found some really good things. Now, it isn't as merchandised as other thrifts I've been to, so it may not have been the best choice for my first shopping and filming experience because I'm not excellent at filming, as you all will see, but hopefully I'll get better with more practice. Fingers crossed, no guarantees, but I've never been one to wait and just make sure that everything's smooth. We just dive right in. So hopefully in the future my filming quality will improve, but we went to Mcallister Thrift first, and as I said, that was just a little bit cluttery for probably my first film experience, but I don't ever write off a cluttery thrift store because sometimes they have the best hidden treasures. I think sometimes people will hide things that they don't want to get that day in hopes to come back, and you might just find those, and there's the treasure you've been looking for your whole life. So in Mcallister Thrift, the staff was super friendly. They were so patient with us, fumbling around, doing our thing, having fun, and they were extremely helpful. So everything was 50% off that day, so that was also a super score. So we went in there and we headed over to look at some clothing items again. And that day I found a few really cute sweaters in there. So the first sweater I found was this vintage Anglon by Darlene sweater. It was so cute. It's one of these little cap sleeve, 3/4 sleeve sweaters. Has the pearlized buttons. But it is a really cute pale yellow color with this almost like sage green and bright orange color as well. And I also found in that same sweater area, and right now in San Diego we're having this like spastic spring where like on Sunday it was chilly and raining and I made soup, and then today I was chilling poolside before I started filming with you guys. It's in the 80s, so we kind of are going back and forth this time of year, and I'm not complaining because we are in San Diego and we have excellent weather, but it is a little spastic right now, so my sinuses are a little affected by that back and forth. But I actually didn't think I was gonna get any use out of this sweater this season. I thought I would put it away until next season because it is a heavier weight. But on Sunday when it was drizzly and rainy, I just threw this on with some leggings and it was perfect to lounge around the house in. And so I found this Free People sweater. It is modern. It's an army green, kind of like a bell-sleeved heavy pullover. I really liked it because it had a deep V, and it's just, you know, a pullover sweater by Free People, size medium. It was $8.99, so it was $4.50 total with the discount, 50% discount. And I saw these online for about, on eBay for about $25 to $35. So I thought that was the score. I always like Free People because their aesthetic is kind of flowy and bohemian. So I thought the deep V in the front of the pullover and the bell sleeves made this pullover extra interesting. So for $4.50 I picked that up. Oh, and this Darlene, I forgot to mention, I did do a little bit of research and I saw these retailing on eBay from anywhere from $10 all the way up to $27. So that was really, oh sorry, I said 10, I meant 30. So the lowest price I found for this little vintage 50s cardigan was $30, and then it sold for another one sold for $75 depending on the colors. So that I thought was really cool. And then I found they had like an old baby crib where they just had linens and things thrown in there, so I kind of ruffled through those. That was where Vera was able to find a really cool threshold rug. That rug was $10, and it's a modern rug from Target, but the size of that rug, brand new at Target, was $60. So what a deal. It was $10, 50% off 20, so she snagged that off. It was excellent, no stains, so that was great. And then we got, I found these scarves, and I actually had a scarf of this nature at home, and I did a little research when I picked up that scarf. So I've always been looking for these scarves, and they're vintage Vera Newman scarves, and this I believe is the oldest one, and this one is marked Vera with a copyright and the ladybug, and that was copyrighted on in 1959. The company was, I believe, established in the 50s, and then they operated until maybe even the late 70s. But this was a great design. This one was the oldest with the ladybug and the larger Vera with the copyright. And this one's like an orange with navy stripe around the edge, and then it's got this navy kind of chain link design with these little orange leaves. And that I picked up for $1, and I see these on eBay from $10 to $25. And then this one's my favorite. I got this one also that day, and this one is, here we go, yellow hibiscus. And I don't know if these are feathers or leaves, these black and white sleeves, but it also has these green leaves on the bottom, and I just love the coloring of that. This has Vera and the copyright down here, but no ladybugs, so this probably was 60s, I'm thinking. And so that's my favorite. That also was $1. And then this was the one I had already had, and I think this one's the newest, and this one has the smallest Vera and the copyright, and that was probably in the 70s, and has some like gradient polka dots with orange and white design. So now I have a collection of these Vera Newman scarves, which I really have always liked the designs on those scarves, and sometimes as a means, like, of course you can use them as a scarf or a hair tie, but also sometimes as a repurpose. I'll find two that are the same size, and I'll just tie the corners together around like a white clean pillow form as kind of like a mocked up pillowcase, and it just gives a little pop of color and something a little different to like your bed or your sofa or like my outdoor pillows. So I'll do that sometimes with these vintage scarves. I do have a little collection that I've piled up over the years, but that's a fun way to repurpose them other than as an accessory piece for your wardrobe. So that was fun. And then like I said, we went, I went through the dishes there at Mcallister, and I found some really fun dishes. I started really collecting seriously as an adult with Fiestaware dishes. So my husband will always call me a little bit of a dish hoarder, and so every thrift store I go to, I at least go check out the dishes, and I can quickly scan for Fiestaware colors. I pretty much know what I'm looking for, and since they're so bright, they just pop right off the shelves. So usually I can quickly scan the dish items for those Fiestaware pieces, and I didn't find any that day, wah, wah. But I did scan for some other items. I also looked for like mid-century dishes and other cool vintage dishes that I'm drawn to as well. And that day I was really excited to find these really fun cream of mushroom soup cup and saucers. So they're 1970s Arnell's mushroom cup and soup. I call them mushy cups. So we've got this adorable little mushroom design right here with this like kind of pink, brown, and gold mushroom on this ceramic cup. It has this really nice little detailed handle, and then on the bottom it's marked Arnell's. Let's see. There you go, Arnell's. And the design is on both sides, and then it came with this really cute saucer with the same mushroom detail on the top, and I just loved these. They are so fun. I've already made mushroom soup out of there, and I can tell you it made my soup taste more delicious. So I just think that vintage dishware always enhances the flavor of whatever you put in it. So I was super excited to find these. They were set, I found two. So there's 2 cups and saucers, and I just picked up the extra saucer. It didn't have the cup. It could have been broken, but I picked it up as an extra just in case I dropped and broke one. So a lot of times I will pick up, if there's an odd number, I'll just grab the odd number, the odd numbered piece, just in case I break one. So yeah, it's always nice to have an extra for a replacement, especially for vintage items. So yeah, I did get the 2 cups and saucers and the extra saucer for $7.50, and I saw them selling on eBay for $14.99 plus shipping each. So I thought that was a pretty good deal on those little fun mushroom cups and soups. I think this Arnell brand is mostly known for its mushroom containers, like the canisters for kitchens. They have like those flour, sugar, coffee canister sets, and they're adorable. My friend has one in her garden gnome themed kitchen, and I just love them. So this is that same brand and maker, these adorable mushroom soup cups, and I picked those up. I was so excited. And then I found one more dish at Mcallister's, and that was this cool serving platter. So it's an oval serving platter, and it's not marked on the bottom, but I just picked it up because the motif was so cool. It was so retro. This double boomerang had these cool, almost like little Sputniks. If you can see that, it was black and white. The simplicity of the design I really liked as well. The only flaw I could find on it was this little craze mark in the glaze, which is a slight tiny bit of discoloration. But for $2, I just thought the design was so iconic of that mid-century era that I couldn't leave it on the shelf. So I picked that up for $2, and I couldn't find that online, but I think I could probably retail that for $15 to $20. So I picked that up as well, and I just love that. It almost reminds me of Homer Laughlin, like rhythm design, or like Franciscan as far as like the shape of the plate, but they usually are marked. So I'm still not sure. If anyone happens to know who made this plate or what the line is called, let me know in the comments below. I'd be curious to find out. But yeah, I just thought the boomerang was just so retro, 50s, 60s. I just loved it. So I grabbed that and took it home with me. And then while we were in the dishes, I think Morgan was able to find like a vintage 1970s thermos and that 70s gold color that is so iconic for that era of thermoses. And then we also were able to find, I found a little creepy doll, and I don't have her out here today. I've already put her away with my Halloween decor, because usually I take those little Google-eyed dolls and I repurpose them around Halloween and paint and make them over into lovely zombie baby, my lovely zombie baby collection. So I put her away into my Halloween decorations, and I was really excited to find her because a lot of times the babies are naked or they have very few clothing items, but she had like 3 layers of clothes, so I can actually use some of her clothes for some of my other babies that aren't really clothed properly for the occasion. So I'm excited because she had lots of clothes to work with too. So yeah, I will at some point fill you guys in on my zombie baby making process, because that's just a fun thing I like to do around the holiday of Halloween. So the next stop was the DAV, and before I get into the things that I found and that we found at that stop, I almost forgot to tell you about a t-shirt that Madeira got. She got a Guinness t-shirt that she refashioned into a t-shirt to wear for her work Zoom meetings on St. Patrick's Day, and then she also found a really cool Baja pullover for little Will, and that was a great find in the clothing area as well. So that pretty much rounded up our Mcallister Thrift trip, and then we headed over to the DAV, and we closed the Mcallister Thrift down, and when we went over to DAV, they only had an hour before they were closing, and usually they like to corral everyone in line about a half hour before they close. So we really only had about a half hour to do the looking before we kind of got herded into line. So we quickly headed over to the dish area, and in the dish area, I was super excited to find what seems like the littlest thing, but it was so exciting to me. I found this little bowl, and this little bowl is like this sage green, kind of like baby snot color with a little bit of a brown fleck, has this cool, almost like a sun design on it, and then the inside is white. It is ceramic, and it's made by Mikasa. It's marked on the bottom, Painted Sands, Cali, Japan. and I paid 95 cents for this at the DAV that day. And the reason why I was so excited to find it is because about a week earlier at the DAV in Spring Valley, California, I found this tray, and I just thought it had a really cool mid-century design, and I liked the pattern on the edge. And it was a Mcallister painted sands tray, and I paid $5.95 for this tray. And when I found the bowl, I figured, well, now I actually have a little set, so I can use this set for like some hummus and pita and veggies, or some chips and salsa or guac, and I just think that would work really well as kind of like a chip and dip set, or something along that nature. So it'll go well with my mid-century decor, and now I have a set. So I did see at another shop with me coming up in the future, we were at a vendor mall, and I did find this, and this tray was retailing for about $35 there. And then I also found it on eBay for $30. So I paid $5.95 for this tray and 95 cents for the bowl. So for $6, I got this little set. So I was excited to complete that set for myself. So I have that now, and that was at the first thing I found. And then in that same area, it was really cool because Morgan found a Depression era bowl, and it's a divided dish. It was a pink Depression glass dish that sat in a almost like a metal handled tray holder for it, and it's actually called the Mayflower bowl. So along the edge was designs of the Mayflower, so like almost like embossed into the metal. So that was really cool. I think she paid like $4 for that. And then I found these little curtain tie backs, but I was looking for them before I started doing this haul, and I couldn't find them anywhere. So they have like disappeared into the abyss of my home, and one day hopefully to be found for a repurposed project, because that's what I was hoping to use them for, like a repurposed hardware. It was a really cool like brass mid-century, almost Hollywood Regency in flavor, almost like I thought when I first picked them up, I thought they were a bag of knobs, but my husband quickly pointed out that the shank wasn't long enough to actually like grab onto something if it were affixed to a drawer or door, if you will. So I think they were probably more like curtain tie backs or finials on a curtain rod, but I figured I would just repurpose them for an art project of sorts. You know, I'm always refinishing furniture and kind of repurposing and reusing items. So I have a 1957 home, and I often like to replace hardware with hardware of that era. So I grabbed those for $6.95, and now I can't find them. So such is my luck. And then, so hopefully I can find them and at least insert a photo for you. But I think I did show them in the shop with me video on the blanket that we set out when we were done. So such is my luck. That is that. And then Madeira, before we got up to the jewelry area, I did go to the back and I found a vintage Fairloom dress form, and it didn't have its pole or base. The base is like a cast iron base, and then it sits on a pole. It's an adjustable dress form used for like fashion design, for pattern making, and I bought one brand new when I was in tailoring and pattern making. And I mean, mine brand new when I graduated high school in the 90s was over $150. So I mean, I'm assuming now they're close to $200 for a brand new adjustable dress form. So I picked this one up for $4.95, and I love the vintage quality of it. I think I know a welder who can probably affix a base and a pole. That is my husband. I think I can probably just add that to his honey-do list without him even knowing. So hopefully I will have that dress form to display some of my vintage clothing items for my Etsy store, Shop Secondhand High. And so I did find that for $4.95, and I thought that was such a score because I did find those on eBay, those dress forms. They were made for Sears and Roebuck, and in the 1950s, and the one I saw with its base and stand sold for $68, and there was one currently listed for $100. So for $4.95 to use as a display piece, I thought was just a super cool deal and score, and I snatched that and threw it right in my cart. And then they were corralling us into line, and Madera went up to the jewelry case, and she found a really cool semi-precious stone necklace that she picked up. And then I ended up getting in line with Morgan, and while I was in line, I was just quickly scanning the tops of the aisles where they had like the glass vases and the ceramics and the hard goods, some of the houseware hard goods. And so I was quickly scanning just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I quickly spotted this really cool item, and I was intrigued by it. So I went over to see what it is, and I've been really into like mixed metals lately. And I've been mixing a lot of metals, wrought irons. I've been mixing coppers and brasses and pewters. I just like the aesthetic of all of them together because more is more. And so I saw this and I thought it was really cool looking, and I went over to inspect it further, and I picked it up and I was like, oh wow, that's really heavy. So I picked up this really heavy little cast iron planter here, and this is a modernist 1950s 1960s Japanese ikebana planter. It's cast iron. It's in the fashion of the artist Noguchi, and I did a little bit of research when I got home, and I found out a few things about these planters, but not necessarily enough, which is always the case, right? So I looked it over. I thought it was super cool. It was dirty. It was kind of crusty. I don't even know what it had on it. We were making a few little jokes about the boogers that were on it, but I quickly sanitized. So I sanitized my hands and I put it right in my cart. It wasn't marked, so I just figured I would ask when I got to the cash register if they would price it for me. But I was really interested in it because I did like the fact that it was like this cool, heavy cast iron planter. I liked the shape. I liked the modern design of it. I liked the tripod feet that it had, and just kind of like this simplistic bean pod shape. The only real damage I could find on the outside was this little spot of wear on the back here. And then in the inside, there were also a few spots of wear as well. I believe this is meant to have a bonsai tree grow in this adorable planter, but I prefer the styrofoam ball moss fashion that I'm working here. I don't have the skills to manage a bonsai at this time, so yeah, the styrofoam moss ball collection is more my speed when it comes to the green of the thumb. So yeah, I'm displaying my collection of those in this, but I did take it up to the front, and I think they were such a rush to get that long line of people out that she just priced it for 95 cents, and I said, yes, please, I will take that. And so I put that on the bill for 99 cents. So I think my total that day at the DAV was really under $10 with the 99. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. It was close. It was $13 actually. Yeah, so $13 I spent at the DAV. I got the dress form, the bowl, the planter, and the finials. And I went home and did a little research on the planter because that was my favorite item of the day, my holy grail piece, if you will. And I was just really curious about if I could find out any information. And I did find that it was in the manner of Noguchi, circa 1950s, 1960s, and the range of value was very great. So I found ones that were very similar to the condition that mine was in, with no maker's mark on the bottom and about the same amount of wear, looks identical. I found ones in that condition, and then I found other ones that were in mint condition, with new in box, with the bamboo box. On the bottom, they were marked with the maker's kanji signature, and then also on the wooden box, there was a paper label that had the maker's signature that matched the bottom of the planter as well. So I found that there were both. They both seem to be circa 1950s, 1960s. So the ones that were in the similar shape of mine were ranged in price anywhere from $190 to $370. And then the ones that were new in box and mint condition ranged anywhere from $1,500 to $2,700. So I was so excited that something that I spent maybe 95 cents on plus tax was potentially worth $190 at the very lowest price that I found. So that was super exciting, and I will be keeping that piece now in my collection. I have it displayed on my media cabinet, like I said, with my collection of styrofoam moss balls. I just love it. It is so great. I'm enjoying it so much, and I will forever have a memento of that first shop with me trip with my girlfriends, and that is worth its weight in gold. So I think we can call this video a wrap. I hope you guys had a good time. I know I did. I'm excited to share more shop with me videos with you, more happy hour haul segments, and I launched my shop Secondhand High on Etsy on 4/20/21. You can check me out there, and some of these items will be listed there for you to look at. So please check that out. Hit the like, share, and subscribe below. I know it's cringe, but I have no shame, so please do that for me. It really helps me out. And I hope you guys have a great evening, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Bye.